Hello and welcome to our Thrive Mastermind. This month we're going to be focusing on our 2020 visions, and I'm so happy to introduce our guest mentor, Lisa Kelly. Lisa Kelly has been working on inner transformations over the years, which had her quitting her cubicle career in 2009 and launch a kids yoga and startup, allowing her to work from home and include her son in her work life. Through that experiences and new interests and discoveries led her to become a certified online business manager with a new brand called Admin Guru. There she helped conscious business owners keep their operations running smoothly. With a combination of certifications and training under Gabby Bernstein and Mike Dooley, she's now inspiring clients to take the courage for the inner changes necessary for external transformation. Her greatest joy is being in mentoring the infinite possibilities and the art of living your dreams by connecting and guiding clients to consciously create a life they love. You can connect with Lisa at Life Unlimited at lisakelly.life. Lisa, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on our podcast, and I'm looking forward to discussing all of the great things around what our 2020 might look like. So maybe you could just tell us what sort of got you going in this direction.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Leigh, for having me. That introduction was very nice. I have always, this direction. I've always been doing vision boards, and I used to do the old school kind with magazine, ripping out of a magazine and using glue on poster board. And that I found was super helpful in doing the preliminary work behind goal setting. So I found that a lot of the time my vision board would almost sort of inform the direction that I wanted to focus on, and it would help me create the plan to meet those goals. And I'd just been doing it forever on my own, and then I started sharing it with friends and family, and eventually people started asking me to show them or teach them, and then it moved on from the old school kind to the digital kind, where I'm actually purposely looking for specific images on the internet, and that helps me make a very robust and a beautiful vision board that is totally aligned with what I'm envisioning in my mind.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think are the differences between goals and visions and even dreams? Like, how would you sort of articulate, where a vision board comes in with goals and dreams and inspiration?
Well, I think, for me, and I find for other people who've done vision boards with me, is that, you have a dream in your mind for whatever reason. And doing the dream first is actually really important, because you're getting out of the idea of I should, or, due to being in my certain circumstances, this is the direction I should probably take. I went to school for this, so then I should follow this path. Whereas with the dreaming, it's more about getting really creative, using your imagination, and following something that comes from within, and sometimes not even really knowing why. It's more of an intuitive and an inner sort of knowing a lot of the time. I would say that's more about what the dream is. And again, like I said, taking that image from your mind or that feeling and turning it into a vision board, for me anyway, actually helps me determine my goals. And it's not just airy-fairy kind of, oh, maybe one day. It's like a holistic life dream board in all different areas of my life and of my clients' lives. So that wheel of assessment or wheel of life assessment that we often do, or that some people may already know of. It's where you look at about 8 to 10 different categories of your life. It could be, career and business, finance, romance, significant others, spirituality, contribution, and giving. There you go. Those areas of your life are usually covered in a vision board a lot of the time. I mean, sometimes you can focus on just one area. In fact, I have a vision board just for my business. But I guess what I'm getting at is the visions and images that you can put on your board can encompass all these different areas. And then you can set goals around what you sort of want to project and see yourself achieving.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And do you find that the art of seeing your what you decide to put on your board in pictures, does that somehow help our mind to retain the information? What's the science behind that?
Yes, it's very impactful. And what science or research has shown that the subconscious mind doesn't actually know, it can't differentiate between what's imagined and what's in reality. So if you're constantly looking at images of what you would like to attain and what you desire, and get excited about it, you can already start to, it's kind of that law of attraction energy thing. Like if you get your vibration up and your frequency is higher and you're feeling and acting, making the right steps, taking action on those images, and sort of things behind the scenes that you may not even see in your present reality with your 5 physical senses may already starting to be attracted to you before you even realize it. Mm-hmm. So that's something to really keep in mind as well. A lot of the time we want to micromanage the how it's going to get done. But it's smart to let go of the how a lot of the time, because trying to figure it all out and micromanage the tiny, tiny little details can sometimes be limiting in how things are going to unfold. And a lot of the time when we put it out there into the universe and say, okay, this is something I'd like to do. And yes, I do know that I need to take action steps always, but you can take several different types of action steps, and not always, you don't have to be 100% certain on how it will actually manifest. So it's important to sort of understand that. I hope that answers the question. I kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah, seeing the images, seeing the vision on a regular basis is important for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And do you find that it's better to focus on a quadrant in the circle of life on your vision board, or do you recommend trying to have a bit of everything? Do you have any sort of advice around that?
I would say go with your gut. Like when I conduct my vision board workshops, we try and make a vision board that will encompass all areas, but it's not restricted to that at all. And sometimes someone will come into the workshop. We start doing some worksheets first, like it's some kind of a little bit delving into some inner, deeper work and reflection. And after doing those worksheets and doing a bit of that work, you're a little bit more in tune and feeling a little bit more open to what comes. And in one or two, I'm going to talk about one case specifically. Mm-hmm. Attendee decided she wanted to only focus on significant other and romance after she originally came in to do a vision board that was going to be a holistic, all-encompassing life vision board. And when she left, it was all on love and the type of partner that she was wanting to call in. And she had never spent the time, that dedicated time, to sort of seriously envisioning what that partnership would look like and what that would feel like. So, and the cool thing is that actually a month later, she met somebody and she's still with that person today. That was like last June. And she did the workshop in June. The vision board informed her online dating profile. And then she met someone straight away and now they're together still. So that was pretty amazing. So yeah, you're not limited. You're not restricted to doing a whole life one. You can focus on, just like I said, I have a vision board that's just business, and I have a vision board that's my whole life as well.
Yeah, so talk about the business one, because that's obviously something that really pertains to Women in Biz Network. You know, we're all about professional development for entrepreneurs and for professional women in a corporate environment. So what's the benefit of doing a business related vision board, and how's it different than your run-of-the-mill life board?
It was super helpful doing the vision. This is the first year that I've actually done just a business vision board. Every year, like, I have a group of women that I get together with quarterly. I call it a goals group, but it's kind of like a mastermind. And at the beginning of the year, or like late December, we normally put in some extra time to create our big vision for the year ahead. So I always do 3 big goals or 3 big ideas that I kind of think I would like to put forth. And I got really, really excited and creative with the big vision for my business, such that when I started envisioning it and visualizing, because I do a morning visualization, not really looking at images, but just in my mind, I'm visualizing desires and outcomes. I started to get detailed and specific in my morning ritual. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to actually look for those types of images and put them on a vision board. And so I've got this one here. And the other thing I like suggesting is to come up with a word or a theme for the year. So in my case, I don't know if you can see, but I put the word soar down the right-hand side.
Oh yeah.
And I actually put words on every image as well. So now that I have those images, I can look at my board that's on my bulletin board next to my desk, but also have it in a screen saver thing where it's playing sometimes, or you can put it in like iMovie if you have an Apple computer. I don't know what the app is on a PC, but you can put it together and just have your pictures play with music and just watch it, kind of like a little meditation almost. So that's something I've done as well with these images.
I love that. That's so cool. It's creative. Yeah. Wow. So have you noticed any changes in your intentions or in your progress since you created that business vision board?
Yes. Because I got really specific and clear with the images, and now with the visualizing, like I've got a picture of, a room with seats and empty seats with a screen there, and I put my picture on the screen. So I can visualize myself coming into a conference or an event, and I'm pulling my suitcase behind me because I'm staying in a hotel, and I start to visualize having breakfast before speaking and, talking to the audio visual people, and just all of it. It's been really helpful. And then just for the day-to-day accountability, I use a planner. I've told you before that I like Sheila Cummins' productive planner, Sheila from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her planner, and I've been using it for about 3 years now, and it helps to kind of block out milestones and power. She calls them power moves.
Mm-hmm.
So power moves to hit those milestones. I like to do 3 per week and then 3 per day,
Mm-hmm.
based on my 3 big goals for the year. So yeah, the other thing I just recently did is I hired a business coach because I wanted help with strategy. I need accountability. Accountability is so important. In fact, I even offer accountability meetups for all past vision board participants. So we get together once a month, and they will bring their vision board with them, and we will do a little mastermind, people on the hot seat or the love seat, I like to call it. And just, where are you at? What's coming? What's already like, let's celebrate what's already come to fruition on your vision board. And then also, what do you want to work on? Pick one thing from your vision board, whether it's business or whether it's personal. And then we go around and talk about it. And then we actually make it a co-working meetup. So we're actually getting stuff done while we're there in each other's presence. So it's an action oriented get together as well, because that's so important. It's great to have the vision. It's great to even visualize it all, but the action steps, it's not going to happen by just looking at your pretty vision board on the wall next to you. So yeah.
That's such a good point, right? That we have to take action, that our goals,
Mm-hmm.
our goals, our dreams, our visions, whatever we want to call them, none of it's going to come to fruition if we aren't making, small steps towards what we want, and that they're measurable and smart. And
that's right. And like I mentioned before, like I was saying, you don't always have to know the how. So
yeah,
even though you're taking action, it doesn't necessarily mean those particular, small details are going to be the exact way that it is going to manifest, but you're preparing yourself while taking action for other opportunities that you might not even be aware of yet. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're always taking action in the direction that you want to go, you're pretty much, guaranteed that certain things will unfold as they're meant to. And you can't always see how that things are going to play out, but you've got a much better chance of things playing out in your favor if you're taking action.
Mm-hmm. And having faith. I think faith is a really important tool in that believing that what your dreams are, your visions, your goals, whatever, that you deserve them, and that some, obviously it's important that we take action, but also, putting it up to some sort of higher power, whatever that is for you, also can really help in that.
Full on. I'm with you on that.
Because I've been doing a lot of reading about successful entrepreneurs, and one of the biggest things for them, and just even speaking of, I don't know if you would call her an entrepreneur, obviously it wasn't that at all, but Harriet Tubman, being Black History Month, I was reading her biography with my son, and we just watched the movie. The actress, the main star of the movie, was nominated for Oscar for Best Actress, and just the story. I think every young girl should watch that movie, because her faith got her through incredibly courageous steps to save people from slavery, and so just that power of putting faith towards something that you can get your dreams or your missions, whatever you want to call them, accomplished by having some faith that it can together.
Full on. And in fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think I was telling you about this the last time we spoke, is that there's this great book out by Hal Elrod. he wrote the book, The Miracle Morning, but the book I'm referring to is called The Miracle Equation. And he says there's two main elements, extraordinary effort and unwavering faith. And that takes your vision and desire from possibility to probability to inevitability. So it's like just having the faith and continuing to be committed and put forth the effort. Yeah, your beliefs really play a huge role in, I mean, you hear about it all the time about negative limiting beliefs and mindset stuff. A lot of the time we just have to forge ahead, and even if you don't see it in your, present day to day, trusting that, it will eventually manifest if you just keep on putting one foot in front of the other. And yeah, and being clear too. Clarity is really important.
Yeah, no, that's true. And just kind of focusing on that everything is figure outable, quoting Marie Forleo, it's that, I think that's important too, is that we, as you said, we're not always going to have all the answers about how we might get to where we want to go. But if we just take some small steps towards whatever, even if it's just saying, I have no idea how to do this, and just brainstorming, right?
Right. And to always come back to your why. Like, yes, why is this really important for me to achieve this? And that's another way to sort of, even when you're back in the vision boarding stage, putting the images down, like, are they aligned? Is this truly for me, or is this for somebody else? So knowing your why is, you want to start from there too.
Yeah. I remember getting great advice years ago, that, your dreams and whatever you're aspiring for shouldn't be too attached to your ego, because if it is, then you might be doing it for false reasons. And so I really check in with whether something is driven by my ego when I, especially if I'm finding a really strong reaction to something. Usually I have a little bit of an inkling that it might have something to do with my ego.
That's cool. That's a really wise, sentiment, and something that is important for us to check in with ourselves on a regular basis. Like, why is it? What makes this so important to me?
Yeah, for sure. Really. So let's just take a moment now to talk a bit about what we're going to be doing with our members coming up in March. So let's just take a moment to talk about this great experience that you're creating for our community.
Okay. I'm very excited, Leigh, that you've invited me to offer this, and you and myself doing it together. Or as a partnership, sort of. It's always a 3.5-hour workshop, and you come in, it's on a Monday, it's the beginning of your week, it's in the morning after you're taking your kids to school or whatever, and it's totally self-indulgent. And I like to do these quarterly, these workshops. Some people don't like doing vision boards or setting goals at the beginning of the year. Like, some people are kind of anti the whole resolution idea. It's too much pressure. It's overwhelming. Again, maybe some people don't even have a lot of clarity, and we're told we have to be super clear in order to manifest our dreams. The clearer you are, the better. But this workshop actually helps you get around the what to do if you aren't feeling 100% clear in certain areas of your life. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of time for reflecting and getting into that. I do some meditation stuff, so you're kind of becoming more connected to your inner voice, and filling out certain worksheets that have questions. You get honest with yourself. In some cases, people share, some hardships that they might be going through or challenges, and it just allows the group to support each other and feel it's a safe environment. It's all confidential, and it's fun though. Like, that's the main thing, is it's fun. Who doesn't like to take time for themselves, dream massive dreams, imagine amazing things happening in their future, and then putting it all together in a beautiful board that you can put on your desktop, on your laptop, have it on your phone, print it out, put it on your bulletin board. It's really social and it's really fun. That's what it's really about, is just having fun. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. So we'll post information about that in the follow-up to this recording. It's going to be in Toronto at the Gladstone Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is there any other important things that we should mention about that?
We've got a Facebook event created for it. Bring your laptop, bring your journal.
Okay, great. Excellent. Well,
I have all the information on the Facebook event with regards to registration, and then once people register, I give them a lot more information with regards to preparing for the day.
Perfect. That sounds great. Okay. So let's just get back into some other cool things around vision boards, different offshoots of vision boards. So another way of looking at a vision is to write it into some sort of form of statement. And Oprah Winfrey has a cool one, and hers is to be a teacher, to be known for inspiring her students to be more than they thought they could be. Richard Branson has one as well, to have fun in my journey through life and learn from my mistakes. So I'm just curious, do you yourself have a personal vision statement? Is this something that you thought about when you were creating this new phase in your business life?
Yes, I did. I sometimes get confused between vision statement and mission statement when creating a business plan. But I basically put on my website that I want to, it's something of these along these lines, to empower people to have the tools to tap into their inner wisdom and give them the courage to change and grow a life of their dreams. So yeah, because I do believe that we're all here to expand into the biggest expression of ourselves. And I've, gone through quite a journey, as we all have. And I just want to share that, like that Marianne Williamson quote about not playing small anymore and just shining, growing into the biggest expression of yourself actually allows other people to do that for themselves too. So we have a tendency to want to play small for lots of reasons. Sometimes it's you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. The reptilian brain, the flight or freeze wants us to stay safe. But we don't have, there are tips and tricks that we can do to sort of allow ourselves to grow into, we've got that inner voice. There's a reason that you have certain visions unique to you and certain dreams unique to you. And I kind of feel it's a bit of a shame if we are not allowing ourselves to do that and playing small.
Yeah, and I think creating a vision for you personally and also for your business can help with that. And
Yeah.
and the more specific it is, the better, right? Because it might hold you accountable. So I'll just read one. The Smithsonian has, by 2022, the Smithsonian will build on its unique strengths to engage and inspire more people where they are with greater impact, while um, catalyzing critical conversations on issues affecting our nation and the world. So it's quite interesting how, you know, they're putting a date and specific things about, you know, what they want to do, how they want to make people feel, that sort of thing. So you know, I really think that that helps us to want to keep going as business owners, if we know that we're creating some sort of emotional impact.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's also really important. I know for me personally, over the years, one thing that's really helped me is because I've done a lot of conferences and events with entrepreneurs and professionals, having them come back to me after they've attended an event or, you know, experienced success through, you know, being involved with my consulting or Women in Biz Network, and then them specifically giving some sort of feedback as to how their life has changed, what changes they've made, how they're excelling. That's super powerful, and
It is.
yeah, it's certainly something that, I mean, I got lots of feedback when I was in a corporate environment, but I don't know, there's something a little bit different than this. And I guess maybe it's just because we're all creators in this community. So, you know, you see these creations come to life, and it's quite incredible. So it'd be almost interesting to do a vision board of how you how you've changed over the years. So it's like a past reflection of everything that you've done.
Yeah, that would be cool. It'd be like
Yeah.
a storybook, a visual
Yeah.
life story. That
Mm-hmm.
is a neat
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, for sure. Um, just moving back to some of the things that we were talking about. So, uh, there's goals and there's dreams, and you talked a little bit about like measuring success, and you've mentioned some really cool quotes and things to help people to get more clarity around what they're wanting out of life. But, you know, taking action is important. So let's just sort of break down the difference between, say, a goal and a dream, and how that could impact success in as you're moving forward.
Okay. I, as I mentioned, I do think that the dream and the visioning are sort of preliminary, for me anyway, to before setting goals. And having the vision board workshop as a platform to build the goals and the plans from is super helpful. So because it allows me to have a direction to shoot for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a visual person. It just helps. So yeah, I mean, I think we kind of did cover this a little bit in the beginning, not really referring to this slide, but yeah.
Well, that's helpful. So, and as you said, I guess one of the great things about the vision board exercise is that it starts out, but then it kind of fluidly can grow and change or morph. And, you know, you go in with one idea, and then you may come out with an aha that you need to focus in one section of your life only, just because maybe it's too overwhelming to tackle everything. So you focus on a section of your life. Or the vision board could lead you to understanding that in order to take on some of these things, like it requires some sort of plan. And then so breaking those goals down into some sort of actionable plan.
That's right.
To move forward. So have you found that any good tips or tricks from people as they take their visions and then sort of create some sort of plan of action to accomplish the things that they're looking to
well, like I mentioned before, I really think there's several different things you can do to support yourself with this. Having some type of planner or, calendar book that breaks things down into quarterly and then monthly and then weekly and then daily. You start at the macro, and then, I like to try and get 3 main things done per day, like, which are based on the bigger goals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way of doing things. Another thing is to have an accountability partner or a business coach. I find co-working with friends, and we actually, a couple of different friends that I co-work with, we almost have it somewhat structured in the beginning. Like, we have a catch up and high social, but then we also say to each other, what is your intention for this particular, our time together? What's your intention to get complete by the time we part ways? And normally we're meeting for like 2 to 3 hours. So sometimes longer, 4 hours might be a session that we do at a cafe or like a local meetup place, co-working space. So that's really helpful for me anyway. I find getting out of the house, not working in isolation, helps me stay accountable. I get way more done when I'm out of the house than I do in my house. I know everyone's got their own way of working, but I find even if I'm alone at a cafe, as opposed to being alone in my home, I get more done when I'm out. So yeah, I'd say the planner, daytimer, calendar thing, accountability partners in some way, a mastermind, even like I was mentioning, I do a monthly mastermind, but there's masterminds anywhere and everywhere that you can meet, and they all help you stay accountable. Facebook groups, and then the actual in-person meetups as well really help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, thank you for mentioning that. I know for myself, I think I have the best memory in the moment, but it's amazing how quickly something that seems important to you goes out the window when you're busy. So one of the things that I'm working on for 2020 is a better health plan. I have some very specific goals around my health and well-being and my mental health specifically. And so there's been things that I've been putting off, and they seem so etched in my brain, but I decided, well, I better write it in my calendar to schedule some of these important appointments to be able to accomplish these goals that I have around my mental health. And when I saw the appointment request come up that you have to make some appointments, I was like, oh my gosh, I totally would have forgotten this if I hadn't put it in my calendar. And then I wrote it down on a physical piece of paper
Right.
on top of that, just because it's this time of year is tough. Like, there's a lot going on, and as business owners, I have like a ton of tax paperwork that I have to consider. So even though something seems really important, you still need to schedule it.
That's right. If it's not scheduled, it's not going to get done.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, and in terms of mastermind, so obviously our members know that we have a monthly mastermind that our members can find a way to hold themselves accountable to work towards those goals. I know we pre-recorded a live session with our members, and we had some amazing questions and observations and ideas that came out of this. So our members have got it going on. They're really smart. So I'm excited to see them take it to the next level with this workshop on, what's the date of the workshop?
It's Monday, March 2nd. Of course, there's also, promo for members, for WIBN members, with the pricing. So
yeah, even better. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we can hold each other accountable with meeting our desires and making them a concrete plan, so that at the end of the year we can celebrate what we were able to achieve. So it'll be great to do some follow-ups with you at the end of the year uh, to see
Oh yeah,
that.
that's the funnest part too. Like I didn't really show many of my vision boards, but so many things have come to fruition from past vision boards. And again, they don't always happen within the year.
Mhm.
Some of them are only just happening now from a vision board that I created a few years ago. But
Mm.
it's just such a exciting, fun gift to actually go back if you haven't looked at an old vision board and be like, oh wow, I forgot that I even put that on my vision board a few
Wow.
years ago, and it's already happened. And so our dreams change, but a lot of the time they are still on a subconscious, unconscious level, and they'll be happening because you've already put it out there and you've already put the work into having it happen.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much for being our guest today. And any parting words that you want to leave us with?
I want to say thank you for having me. I always love chatting with you, Leigh. And um, no, just that I'm super psyched. I love doing this kind of work. And like I said, fun is my top priorities. And this is really a lot of fun.
Well, fun, I think we all need to have more fun in our lives. There's actually something that I wrote down is running towards more fun and less away from my internal fears. So hopefully we can all bring a little more fun in our life for 2020. So let's leave it at that, and thanks again.
Okay. Thanks so much, Leigh. Talk soon.